Hello, you are again with your trainer, Françoise Mutoneshi. I am an expert of duo training from Bildungswerk der Baden-Württembergischen Wirtschaft, in short BW. We are the vocational education and training organization of the employers of Baden-Württemberg, German Southwest State. I am happy that you are interested in our topic, and I hope you can benefit a little bit from my experience. Welcome to this training session. The materials for the implementation of dual vocational education and training, IDVET, were developed with the support of the Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, through SEQUA. Many thanks to them. In today's module from our seminar, Implementation of Dual Vocational Education and Training, IDVET, I want to talk about how to deal with challenges of in-company training. In this module, we'll talk about, first, dealing with youth, second, understanding conflicts, third, solving conflicts, and fourth, highly gifted trainees. Let's start with the first point, which is dealing with youth. I will read you a quick citation on the slide. The youth of today. The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect for elders and rough chatter in place of exercise. Children are now tyrants, not the servants of their households. They no longer rise when elders enter the room. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobble up dainties at the table, cross their legs, and tyrannize their teachers. Here comes a question now. From when and where do you think is this statement? Rwanda? Germany? Last year? 50 years ago? No! This is from Socrates, from almost 2,500 years ago. So it looks that adults complaining about youth is not such a recent phenomenon. Now, when you have to deal with the youth, I believe it is good if you try to remember yourself at the age of 16 to 25. What was important for you at that age? What is important for you today? I invite you to do this reflection. Now, getting more into details about our specific topic of today, what we usually do in our training is shown on the drawing there, on the slide, and reflect on these questions. What do companies and schools want? What do in-company trainers and teachers want? For the first two questions, the drawing shows 4 images that indicate misunderstanding, contradiction, which is a big challenge for the in-company training. Let's take an example of the time of the in-company training phase. The school has a different time or schedule than the company, and there is no way to harmonize. Can youth, companies, schools, in-company trainers, and teachers be brought together? This is another question. On the other side, when we look at the third question and the two last images, we notice an understanding, a sort of togetherness. For example, the teachers from the school and the in-company trainers meet to develop a training plan for the IDVET in a given trade. Another point in our session of today is understanding conflicts. Look at the image. What do you see? Myself see 2 guys who perceive the number differently. One says that is 6. The other says that it is 9. Various types of conflicts exist. Here we can list relationship conflicts, communication conflicts, distribution conflicts, role conflicts, conflicts of matter, value conflicts, power conflicts. Such conflicts occur in normal life, including the in-company training. I give you an exercise. Think of examples of conflicts from your context. How did you solve them? Just have a look at the picture. You will see me surrounded by different people and things that can cause conflicts. We have the family made of partners and the children. There are other important things like health and money. There are work-related things such as regulations, colleagues, the boss or supervisor. There are apprentices, companies, where they go, and their parents. Here comes a question. What should the apprentice contribute from his or her side to the apprenticeship? In the ideal apprenticeship, the apprentice is proactive, disciplined. It means he or she notifies absence if he or she is sick. He or she updates the daily report sheet, sticks to commitments, and has excellent interpersonal skills. In the mediocre apprenticeship, the apprentice is passive, does not keep to commitments, or has other soft skills difficulties, and has little interpersonal skills. When this apprentice receives feedback, he changes. In the bad apprenticeship, the apprentice is passive, does not keep to commitments also, and has other soft skills difficulties, and has little interpersonal skills. When this apprentice, when it comes to feedback, this apprentice receives no feedback and does not change. Please have a look at the picture. What do you think? Is it true? Ideally, both sides get their needs met. On the left side, towards up, the needs are being met, and towards down on the right side, your needs are being met. Both sides, for example, an apprentice and an in-company trainer, they should avoid the lose-lose situation. They should accommodate the lose-win situation, because sometimes one side can win and the other side can lose. If all goes perfectly well, both sides win something. This is the compromise, the win-win situation. On the other side, we have a compete situation, win-loss, which is also not good. Finally, if both sides could collaborate, there would be a win-win situation, which is also great. So, let us imagine an apprentice who always comes late and gets fired. What do you think? In which part of the picture should this situation fit? Please have a look at the other picture again. No family is perfect. We argue, we fight, but love is always there. Again, my question, is this true? And here, I have another question for you. Does this apply to a labor context? Still on our topic of understanding conflicts. Here, I show you a list of typical problems with apprentices that come from Germany. But believe me, this does not only happen in Germany. Problems with attitudes, that's punctuality, reliability, absentee notification, difficulties in dealing with frustration, spoiled apprentices, problems at home, or affect school and in-company performance. Now, these are frequent, but somehow, from my experience, we are not talking about matters of life or death. Unfortunately, since I have a degree as a social worker, I have to mention to you some problems that may not arise often. But if they arise, they are extremely dangerous. This is drugs, depressions, phobias, crimes, and so on and so forth. Now, let's talk about the third topic of our today's session, which is solving conflicts. Our approach as BV, problems with attitudes, problems in dealing with frustration, and those spoiled apprentices are not usually fixed by themselves. Address them frankly and directly. Agree on individual solutions quickly and have regular feedback meetings. For the rare problems but extremely dangerous, such as drugs, depressions, phobias, and crime, look for a professional counseling from a social worker or a DVET coordinator. Here, I show you another exercise we are usually discussing when we give a training. As a coordinator, what would you do if an apprentice is dismissed by a company? We do this, for example, as a group exercise. And each group shall defend a different approach. Group 1, their approach, we renegotiate with the company. Group 2 says, we look for a new place for him or her. And Group 3 approach, we expel him or her from the career. The above 3 group works are possible options to take in that case. Here comes another point. Highly gifted trainees. If you get a chance to have a highly gifted trainee, give him or her more projects, which are advanced, sponsorship, further training or free of charge if possible, or more responsibilities. Here are some kind of golden rules. I hope they are of use for you when you are facing a difficult situation with an apprentice. Apprentices are young adults, and this is not the same as experienced adults, let us say like that. The logic of a young adult is not the logic of an experienced adult. Experienced adults have just left school and apprentices are still going to school. The logic of a student is not the logic of the employee. With these remarks, I do not want to justify inadequate behavior. I just believe you should have this in mind when you are in the situation. Here, I show you some characteristics of young adults from my experience. Emotionally, young adults are more stable than adolescents, but less stable than experienced adults. This means that they're just easy to inspire, but also easy to demotivate. They are easily influenced, both on the positive and the negative. A young adult likes to test the limits. see what the parents or the teachers or bosses have to offer. A young adult has high social interaction. A young adult is curious. Like, for example, on this picture, a young adult judges his or her environment. Thank you for following this video and be ready for the next videos. Please give us a like, a comment, or share to many potential followers. Good luck in the implementation of your training. Bye bye.